Hey, 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 y'all. Welcome to the Impactful Icon podcast. But if you're also watching this on YouTube, hello and welcome. And thanks for viewing this nice video. My lighting setup is kind of everywhere right now. I thought I had a ring light camera, but for some reason, it doesn't turn on. And so I am using this nice, beautiful lamp just to give my listeners, if you listen to my podcast, a nice, beautiful visual. I have this nice setup of the lamp right in front of me with this nice blue light contrasting off with this orange background. It's a good vibe energy in this room that I feel. Hopefully that if you're watching this video that you feel it too. Okay. So let's get into it. I want to talk about why I became a personal branding coach and literally just the journey of getting here and still the journey of being here. Okay, so it all started when I was born. Just kidding, y'all. I'm not about to start the whole story and make y'all fall asleep and stuff like that. I went to college in Missouri called Stevens College. It was an all-girls school. I actually originally went to I was originally supposed to go to University of Missouri, got a scholarship there and everything for the School of Journalism. Visited the campus, everything was neat, with my parents. And I was like, you know what, I could come here. Why not? It's a beautiful campus. It's the like number one journalism school. Why not? Okay. And so then as I'm getting ready to go to the university, because I decided to go to a community college first. If you're still in high school, I definitely recommend going to community college before college so you can save some coins. Yeah, so anyways, I went to community college and I had some roommates, and one of my roommates invited me to a party and her cousin was there, and she was just like, your energy is so like radiant and like beautiful things like that. I feel like you would really fit into the school down the street called Stevens College. And I'm just like, what is Stevens College? And so I visited that campus and I literally fell in love. There was a woman statue embracing herself, like dancing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I freaking love this energy. And the classes were smaller. You could actually get to know your teacher's name. They get to know who you are and your name. And I just love like the smaller classes, smaller. I like smaller everything. Like I'm just a very like personable, intimate person, and so it's easier for me to get to know someone one on one with like in a smaller setting. So that's what that was, and got a scholarship for that, and I went there. I went there for fashion communications, which is basically still marketing and advertising but in fashion. So how to create a magazine like with typography and with graphics and with modeling and with model shoots and with art direction and all of that jazz that goes into how to make a magazine and things like that, into how to market it and how to brand it. That's basically what I learned at that campus, and it's helping me with what I'm doing now 8 years later. So it's crazy. So I went to school for that fashion communications, and then I was creative director at a local boutique store. I basically just helped. I was a sales associate and then creative director by just helping them create more sales to the target market audience, pretty much. And I wanted to host a fashion show, and I had like 50 participants. So I had a team members, and we did a commercial and everything. I had some models, some volunteers, some designers there, and it was a fabulous fashion show. It's recorded. So if y'all do want to watch the YouTube video, it is on my YouTube. I'm pretty sure you can go back and find it, called This Is America. I can go back into the name later. So that's what I did, and then I also was an intern at a nightclub there. So I took photos and I modeled like their T-shirts for them and things like that. So I was like doing the damn thing in Columbia, Missouri, okay, like in college. And so that's what really got my brand out there. And the number one thing that I did, because I came from a whole different state and I was surrounded by people who basically grew up with each other and who knew each other from Chicago, because everyone there is from Chicago or St. Louis. Okay, so I was pretty much like one of the few who were out of state from Texas. And so I became a photographer. Okay, and so that's how people got to know me even more, and that's how I had like some type of like a social following there. Is I was a photographer for like the fraternities, okay, or like for the parties. Like if people who wanted to recap, like I would literally photograph and video that recap, and I would just give it to them for free so I can get into the parties for free. Okay. So that's what I did, and it was really cool, and it was like I'm getting some notifications on my phone right now, so I got distracted. And that was really cool. And so after that, I was just like, wow, like I am doing everything and everything more. Um, I want to go into why I became a photographer. Let's do that. I actually had went to St. Louis to be a model and I got rejected. This is when my hair was super like big. It was basically grown from when I was a child and I had a really big afro and it was like my hair was a red color tone and the agents there, were like you're pretty and things like that, but the photographers may be intimidated by your afro, which is crazy because literally 5 years later, y'all, the afros came in style. So it was probably a different reason why I got rejected, but that's fine because now I'm signed now, years later. Timing is everything. So if you get rejected, we're trying to be a model, an actor, whatever, and you're being rejected. Listen, timing is everything. So that's what happened, and that's why I became a photographer, and that's how literally everything just came full circle. And when I got back to Texas, so I didn't finish my college education. So I dropped out of my junior year of college because my mom actually got sick. She had congestive heart failure. She actually had 3 heart attacks without realizing it, and she was being misdiagnosed from her doctors. And I didn't know about this, but my mom and I have a super tight knit bond. And so one day, like a couple of days actually, I didn't hear from her. She was like the age of my cause. And this is actually towards the end of my junior year, before we left, for the summer. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? I did not know this, things like that. My parents are divorced. And so it was just my mom, my sister, and I. And I also was just burnt out. I had 18 credit hours. I had 3 jobs. As y'all know, like everything that I told you that I was doing in college, I also had 18 credit hours. So I was literally burnt out. I was overworking myself and just doing too much. And so I just made the executive decision for myself to just no, not go back to college my senior year. And so came back home to take care of my family, took my sister from to in school, when her school is back in session, helped my mom and she was in the hospital. I actually got like a waitress job, to pay for some bills. I did like a community servicing for photography. I did like $20 photo shoots to just give to my mom, or for us to have some food that night, my sister and I, things like that. So that is the story, like the beginning story of everything. Literally, when I came back to Texas, I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I went to a community college to go back to school for business. And listen, I am an entrepreneur, I am a business owner, but business classes are boring as hell. I don't know for anyone who graduated a business degree. Let me tell you, you learn more experience doing and being in the business than you actually learn like learning it. And I don't know if it was because that I was like um online school, it was just boring. And so I withdrew from that course, and I was just like, okay, well, what now am I going to do? And then to I bought a ticket to Atlanta just spontaneously because I kept having dreams about Atlanta. I love anyways, I'll get into that. I had kept having dreams about Atlanta, and I was talking to a friend, and he was just like, if you keep having dreams about something, why don't you search it out? Why don't you find out, what's gonna bring for you? Okay. So I bought the ticket. I bought a place over my head, and I didn't know what I was going to do there. And so I literally just went on Eventbrite and searched up things to do in Atlanta. This was in 2017, around September, that I bought the tickets for. Okay. So I saw an event there called A3C Hip Hop Festival, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I love hip hop music. I love music in general. So, like, what is this festival? Never heard of it. And I just looked up hashtags about it on Instagram. This is when Instagram was, popping and things like that. And I looked up like hashtags for Instagram. Met this girl named Essence. Hey girl. And she is a amazing photographer. Like, oh my gosh, the consistency, like her energy, her genuineness, she is just an overall beautiful person, and she was the first person that I reached out to, and I was just like, hey girl, my name is Sydney, I'm from Dallas, I'm coming to Atlanta, do you want to meet up and things like that? I'm also a photographer. And she was like, yeah, I'm actually going to be at this hip hop festival called A3C. Are you catching the drift? My friend was right to go and explore what I keep dreaming about. Okay. If you read The Alchemist before, this is literally one of those moments where it's just like, I wanted to explore. My spirit was telling me to just freaking do it. So, what are the odds that this same girl is doing this A3 festival event that I literally just looked up and was trying to figure out how to be a part of it? I said, oh my gosh, I never heard about this before. And I literally was just looking this up to try to be a part of it, because transparency is key and whatnot. So yeah, I was actually, looking at this event before to like how to be in it. And she was like, yeah, I'm actually like one of the volunteers. And I know like the director that, and I know her email if you wanted to do it. I was like, girl, what the hell? Yes, the flip. So she gave me this woman's email, and I emailed her my portfolio. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I probably waited like 5 days, 5 business days, and they emailed me back and said that I was accepted as a photographer, volunteer photographer. And I said, Jesus save the will. Thank you, God. And I literally DM'd her back, and I was like, girl, I am so like grateful for you. Like, what the heck? And so I had a place over my head, and I had an event to shoot. And I also had DM some models to photograph them as well, because I wanted to do a photo shoot there. So I was just doing DMing people with hashtags, hashtag Atlanta models, things like that. And that's how I came across a couple of people who I still follow today, and even a stylist, y'all. Like, I'm just telling you, like, if your heart and your spirit is calling you to do something, you need to go explore it and to do it. Okay. So I went there, I did that, and that was so cool. I was a part of Trill World, which was basically like a reality TV show, but for influencers. I was in the same room as I think her name is Kate Johansson. Uh, who else? I am Zoe, his Instagram, or Zoe, and some other popular influencers. And that was so cool to just be in that space of people that literally get paid to be themselves, And so that happened. And I also invited Essence to the photo shoot that I had. Um, with the other models. And so we were all together in the Camp Kirk studios, and we were shooting. And she was just like, girl, I've never done anything like this before. And I'm just like, I love it. Like, the concept was called the human, humans. So different races. I had a kind of couple Asians, I had black and white, it was just, I'm always about diversity and like how to formulate people in like crazy angles and like crazy body positions and things like that. And I even got the attention of the owner of the studios, Cam Kirk, which if you don't know who Cam Kirk is, y'all, he is a Atlanta or a famous street photographer, music photographer. Like he's photographed Gucci Mane, I think he's photographed Young Dolph. He's photographed so many different people. Just look him up, Cam Kirk Studios, or just Cam Kirk in general, and you know who I'm talking about. And T even was just like, those photos are dope. Send me the photos, when you're done with it. And I was like, okay. So it was literally like meant to be. I also met someone else. I also met someone else there, and he actually was the owner of, or his company put in the money for Troll World, right? For HBC Hip Hop Festival. And I connected with him while there as well. And we just started talking, and he told me something amazing as well. He was just like, hey, you just have to figure out like what makes you special and what makes you unique. Okay. Sorry about that. My storage got full. Anyways, it's like everyone can do the same thing that you do, but what's something that makes you unique and special? And at the time, I didn't know that. I just said, well, my energy makes me special. And he's just like, you're gonna have to figure out who you are. All right. And so I was like, wow, thank you so much. And so, anyways, after that experience in Atlanta, he had texted me and said, hey, so I have another opportunity for you in here in New York and Brooklyn, can you come or whatever? And so I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, and I actually had known a model there. She's amazing, Chandler, and she is like a sign model. She's been modeling for years. Like when I say that I know professional model, like legit, I would say it's Chandler. Okay. So that happened there, and I reached out to her, said, hey girl, can I come? Can I stay with you? Things like that. Yes, she said yes. I'm so grateful for her. So I stayed in Brooklyn for probably about 3 days with her, and I just went into New York. And the event that he had for me was for a campaign for New Year's Eve campaign, and that's where I met one of my mentors. He is a commercial and lifestyle photographer, and that experience was just mind blowing in itself. Okay, I was around signed models who have been modeling for years, some more for like Hollister, Hollister, Abercrombie, like Nike, Puma, like and these there were influencers as well. And these people were just so genuine and nice, and everyone welcomed me with open arms. Everyone knew that I was my first time there, and so it was honestly just an amazing experience. And I got another notification. So, anyways, oh, I just got an audition. Okay, so that's what happened, right? And so came back home to Texas, and I am just like, wow. By the way, I never said when I left to get the tickets to Atlanta and New York, my mom was fine. That's why I got the tickets in September. My mom was completely fine. She was at home. She was good. And this is basically trips I needed for myself because I kind of had lost my way. So as I'm there, I back home in Dallas, I get a job at a daycare center. I got a job at Nike. I got a job at as a nanny, as an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, a ship shopper, which I still do ship now. I'll get into that later. And yeah, so that's what I did. And you keep hearing voices in your head from your family. You need to get a real job, you need to get a real job, you need to have money for your 401k and things like that, which that is true. I allow that to like basically like become validated by that. And so I got a job at a healthcare tech company, healthcare specifically, because I just told myself like, hey, like I can do like what I want to do. So let me just see if I can work in tech and work in healthcare. Okay. Like, so I manifested that with the grace of God. Okay. So that's what happened. I got a job in healthcare. I was a project associate for about a year about a year and a half, and then I got a job as a patient coordinator for about 4 months, and I just didn't like that role, or care coordinator or whatever, and I quit my 9 to 5 job November 2023 recently. And I also quit because I felt micromanaged and targeted by my supervisor. And, it was a different third company with the healthcare company. And so the healthcare company itself was an amazing place to work at. But then the third company that was associated with them is just no. Anyways, and so um, that's when I had also quit because I was just like, I feel like there's more for me. Like I know my why, I know my motivation, like, and I know I can help people with my voice and just with my talent and then the things that I've been through. Like y'all, when I tell y'all, there's just been seasons of like depression, sadness, loneliness, happiness, gratefulness. So I'm dealing with all these emotions. And I also didn't speak about a major turning point that happened in my life as well. And so I'm just like, man, I have all these stories and all these like things that just me being myself have gotten me into rooms I never thought that I could be in. Okay. And that's when I looked up coaching. And coaching was like such a special trend, from like September to about December of last year, 2023. And I was like, well, okay, what is coaching? And so I looked up this program and I did it. I invested the money. I got a loan, y'all. I got a loan and I did the program. And I was like, wow. And I got my first client and I said, wow, again. I said, thank you, Jesus. Like, this is so cool. And it gave me more confidence to quit my job as well, on top of feeling micromanaged and targeted. And when you know your why in this world, y'all, it's very hard to keep doing the same thing over and over again, like a routine, when you know that you're meant for more. You know what I'm talking about. Your body just got warm and you just got chills all over your body because you knew what I was talking about. I knew that I was meant for more. And so I just did it, and I've now been coaching like full time since November. So it's only been about 4 months now. This is March. And the journey has been crazy. Okay. I actually had to I never changed niches, but I changed my title. So I originally was a creative business and mindset coach, and I helped people, with the business and mindset, things like that. Because I personally believe that success and failure begins and ends in the mind. And I also want to help people with their business. But when I would introduce myself to people, I would say that I help people find their target audience, find their tribe. And so that long ass name mixed with all that, with what I do, introducing myself, just didn't fit. And so that's when I transitioned to a personal branding coach. And to be honest, y'all, like the names and titles really don't mean a dang thing. As long as you know what you're talking about, you're good. Okay. And so that's when I did a transition to personal branding. And that's when I was even more specific. And I was like, you know what? I help content creators, podcasters, and business leaders with their personal brand to find their tribe. Because everything that I told y'all about, like the stories and the people that I met, things like that, they were business leaders, they were content creators, influencers, and some of them were podcasters back then, or they just had a platform where they talked or they spoke and things like that. They had a voice. And so I was just like, you know what? This is my people. This is my community. This is my group. These are my friends. This is family. And so that's literally, and there's more stories into there, things like that, but I just feel like that is literally the gist of my origin story and like why I became a personal branding coach, things like that. I just feel like it is my duty in this world to help people succeed with their dreams, whatever that means to you. So whether it's growing your social media audience to find your tribe, I will do the best that I can in my ability to help you find your tribe. Whether it's helping you grow your podcast or just growing your business in general, to find the people that connect with you and who want to see you succeed, even personal relationships, even in just life in general, how to have a better and more fulfilling life. I feel like it is my duty to help people in that spectrum, as well as to help people with their dreams. Like if you have a dream of modeling and acting and singing and just doing something, because I count as a content creator as well. Content creators are the new faces. They are the new models. They are the new influencers. They are the new businesses of today. Okay. Like that's where the world of AI, that's where the world, like where we're going into. Okay. And so I was just like, you know what? This is a perfect step for me to do. And not only is it a passion for mine, it motivates me and it wakes me up in the morning. I'm about to start crying. It wakes me up in the morning to just know that I am going to impact someone's social media. I'm going to impact someone's life today. I'm going to help someone figure out, find themselves, who they are in this world, in this noisy world, so they can show up authentically online and so they can be themselves online. And I feel like that is just my duty, my mission. So I didn't expect this video to be like 26 minutes long, almost 30 minutes, but you know what? I got my point across, and I am so thankful that you watch this whole video if you did, and let me know if you did. Comment down below, or like this video, or like the blog or whatever, because I'm gonna repurpose this content or whatever. And you know what, just for you watching this video, I am going to give 3 people my social media guideline for free, but I'm actually charging $75 for. It is my social media strategy that I've used personally for myself, that you're able to also use, because it is adaptable. Social media is unpredictable and no social media strategy is the same. But this guideline will help you create your own social media strategy. And I already have so much success with a few clients that I've already worked with. And so if you heard that again, comment down below, DM me, like this, or comment somewhere that you watch this video, because towards the end, because I'm only giving 3 people the social media guideline for free. With that being said, I'm so grateful for you being here. I'm grateful for you listening and tuning in into this podcast, into this YouTube video, whatever. And I just hope you have a wonderful day, morning, evening, and afternoon. Bye, y'all. Love ya.